Welcome, everybody. So excited to see you on this call. Why should I forgive him? So I put this call together for you. And I put this call together for you based on my experiences of my journey through forgiveness, and then also everything that I've learned since my journey of forgiveness. So as you get on the call, I'm going to mute you, but don't worry when we get to the end. I always give opportunities for coaching and interactive and all of that good stuff. So welcome to the Why Should I Forgive Him training call. Discover the importance of forgiveness. I want to acknowledge you for being here tonight. Kudos to you for investing this time in yourself. I know why you are here. You have someone in your life that has done you wrong. And I want you to know that I understand. And I also want you to know I know what it feels like. My name is Denise Dominguez. And if you do not know about me, here is a little bullet point of how I am able to be here and teach this forgiveness stuff to you. So I'm going to give you the cliff notes first because I'm going to dive in deeper. So I teach about relationships, and every relationship starts with you. And my forgiveness journey started with my mom and my sisters, and of course my ex. But it started with doing me wrong and thinking, oh my God, why are they doing this? What happened? Why are they acting like this? And blah, 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 blah. And especially my ex, that's the biggest one, because I was married for 22 years and thought that was it. This was it. This was my marriage. We have 2 children together. We were building a life together. So I thought, building a business together. And there was lots of things done to me along the way. Red flags. I mean, these flags were so red. They were like, I was blind. But anyway, and I had to forgive that process. I had to forgive those events, right? All right. So that's what I'm going to be diving into tonight. 22 years of marriage is a long time, and especially being in a toxic 22-year marriage. All right, let's do some house cleaning. Sorry, I still got food in my mouth from dinner. All right, so this call is just for you. So make yourself a priority for the next 30 to 40 minutes. That means close all the tabs on your computer, put your cell phone on silent unless you're on it, and just be here with me and do you. Hopefully, you're in a relaxed place to listen to this call. I call it my sacred place. And one of these days, I'm going to take a picture of it and I am going to show it to you. All right, so I have my water. Have your glass of tea, water, or whatever next to you, right? And let's take a couple of deep breaths just to be present. And I'm going to get into a little bit of meditation when we get to the end. I'm going to do a meditation with you, and I'm also going to talk to you about meditating. All right. So I'm going to shut off my camera, and let's just do a couple of deep breaths just to be here in the present moment. If I could pull you guys up. All right, here we go. All right, so close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. On the next breath, as you breathe in, I want you to breathe in love and forgiveness. And as you breathe out, I want you to let out all of the shit from today. Let it all out. Next breath, breathe in love and forgiveness and support. Breathe out negative thoughts, negative people, negative situations, and all of the shit from today. All right, one more. Ready? Hold it. Try to sip in a little bit. Let it out. All right. So taking a couple deep breaths before you do something or dive into something really gets you into the present moment, right? So that's why I try to do those every time we do a call. And like I said, I'm going to get into the meditation later on in the call, the importance of it. But right now, it is time for us to dive in. All right, what will we cover in tonight's call? How to forgive others and yourself. That's number one. Number two is, hold on, I have people joining us. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to mute everybody as you get on. All right, number two is why it's important for you to forgive. Number three is what it means to forgive, how to let go of anger and hurt, and finally, the benefits of forgiving. All right. So if you know me and you follow me, you know that I've hosted a radio show on Blog Talk called It's Your Turn Radio. I am a speaker, and my signature speech is Own Your Story, so your story doesn't own you. And most recently, I am a 2-time best-selling author and an international author. What? Yeah, that was my last book in October that launched and went international, which was super exciting. But you know what? Things weren't always this awesome in my life. After 22 years of being in a very toxic marriage, I decided it was time to leave. I left and moved 3 states away with no job and managed to manifest $10,000 to leave Florida. And that's not including the 10 days that I was in Colorado on vacation. I did this in only 5 months. And what I did was I made a plan and I followed it and did everything that I set out to do. I became a women's empowerment coach after knowing I wanted to help women get out of that stuck space that they're in, like I was. And it's been my focus and goal ever since. So getting back to the stories of what I was talking about, my ex and my mom and my sisters. So let's start with my ex, because that was a lot. When I got married, this was it, right? I was in it for the long haul. I was in love, and I made a promise to myself on my wedding day that, unless he cheated or put his hands on me, anything else I was willing to put up with or conquer, or however you want to verbalize it. And I was, not even a year of being married, and I was pregnant, and that was planned, and that was great news, wonderful and exciting. And guess what? When you go to the doctors and they, you're newly pregnant, so they go and test you for everything. Well, I tested for STD in the first trimester of my pregnancy. And that was the beginning of the cheating and the verbal abuse and the emotional abuse and everything. And I was so young and so just really willing to make this work. I thought this was it, and more importantly, I was in such denial, right? He wouldn't do that. No. Well, my kids are a year and a day apart. So actually 1 year later, I was pregnant again with my son. And again, I tested positive for an STD. So this was my journey into accepting this behavior, accepting this abuse, right? And it just got worse from there. It got really worse towards the end. And my end was, 2008, 9, 10, 11, 3 years. The last 3 years of my marriage was really, 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 really bad. And it consisted of suicide attempts and drug abuse and overdoses, hospitals, cops, psych wards. You name it. You name it. The last 3 years could be a Lifetime movie. But this was what I was allowing to go on. I was enabling his behavior. I was allowing him to treat me like this, right? Now, from the time that I was pregnant to the time that I left was over 20 years. So in between these two things that I'm talking about, lots and lots of stuff. Verbal abuse, mental, emotional, financial, kept me very, very stuck in that. And that's what kept me there for so long, because I was just so determined that I couldn't make it on my own. I didn't have a college degree. I didn't have a career. I was a stay-at-home mom. I ran his business. And so I was very stuck, and there was no way that I could create something for myself. So now let's move on to family members, because I'm hoping you get the point of the, the abuse and the things that went wrong and how I was done wrong by my ex. So when I left Florida, my mom, and prior to this, my mom and I had such a great relationship, but all of a sudden she was mad at me, and it had to do with blah, 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 blah. It doesn't even matter. It's just crap bullshit. And my sisters too. And to this day, so I left in 2011, and to this day, they still don't talk to me. And it really is not even directly something that I did. It was something that was indirectly done. And that's their choice. But I'm going to talk about the journey into forgiving that, because for the longest time, I was really, really, confused. Why are they not talking to me? And, in that victim mode, what did I do? Blah, 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 blah. And then also mad. Like, you're stupid. Why are you not talking to me for something that somebody else did? I didn't even do it, right? That's just ridiculous. And I was stuck in that. So, people do things when they're angry. And my sister chose to blast me on Facebook. Well, she didn't really blast me. She blasted actually my ex and all the things that I was putting up with. I'll make a long story short. I was at a party with extended family, and I get a phone call from my best friend who was up here in North Carolina. I was down there in Florida. And she proceeds to tell me, have you been on Facebook? And I'm like, no, I'm at a party. It was my friend's grandmother's 93rd birthday party. She's like, I think you should get on Facebook and take a look. So what my sister had done was, on my Facebook wall and on every post that I had whatever I posted, she commented with this blast, this, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know. Under every comment, so that whoever had liked it or commented or whatever would see it. And then she also did her own post on my Facebook wall. I mean, a lot. It was a lot to clean up. But you know what? I was in a space at that time where I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter to me what other people think. I know what I know. And I just went back to the party, and I just went about my business, and I took care of it the next day, because people who know me. And people who know people like that, i.e. my sister, know that she was pretty pissed off, and that's why she did what she did. That's her. And so my sisters were really mad at me for being in that relationship. And so they had a lot of anger towards me because I stayed in that relationship, I enabled that behavior, blah, 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 blah. But guess what? It was my journey, right? So if you saw my Facebook Live tonight that I just did actually like 45 minutes ago, I talked about how I created these situations. And I wanted to dive into that with you tonight. Because a lot of people think, like I was talking about victim mode, like I did, why are they doing this? Why are they so stupid? Why is this happening to me? What did I do? And all of that, right? But here's the deal. I created all of that, right? I attracted that man into my life. I did that. Those situations I created. Now, obviously, I didn't do them on a conscious level, but I created them. And here's I'm going to go a little bit deep now. Here's how I did that. I'll start with my ex. So how I attracted that man into my life was because when I met him, I was wounded. I was a wounded little girl. And like always attracts like, and we attract who we are, not what we want. So I attracted a wounded little boy. And so we got together and we got married and we had kids. And some of us have deeper wounds than others. But this is the thing. And this is, I see the names and I have some of my clients on the line. And so they know exactly what I'm talking about. And your significant other, your relationships, your family, your close friends, your coworkers, your friends, all of those relationships are actually showing you who you are. Here's what I mean by that. So my ex, let's start with, he's an addict, right? I'm not a drug or alcohol addict. However, I come from addiction and I have other addictions. Like I just watched the whole series of Cleveland Brown. Like there's so many addictions out there, right? You can have a shoe addiction or, scrapbooking. I used to scrapbook. You can have a scrapbooking or reading books or, there's so many addictions. And when I get a client on the phone and we dive into this and addiction is the first one that comes up, I get some resistance there because they think, well, I don't do drugs or I don't do alcohol. But you know what? That's just two aspects of an addiction. There's so many other addictions. There was a reason why I attracted an addict into my life. Okay. He's also a narcissist. There's a reason why I attracted a narcissist into my life. Not because I'm a full-fledged narcissist, but because I come from that. And I didn't even know it. So it's like, there's my wounded self, my wounded little girl that I had pushed down so far that I wasn't even seeing what was really happening, who I really am. And so what happens? I attract those people and those situations in my life. And until I healed myself, healed those wounds, that's when they stopped. I don't attract narcissists into my life anymore. So if you are on the call and you're my client, that makes total sense. If you're not, I'm more than happy to dive into that with you. So letting go of grudges and bitterness can make a way for happiness. Happiness, health, and peace. And isn't that what we all want in life? Healthy relationships, greater spiritual and psychological well-being, less anxiety, stress, and hostility. I mean, every time I get on a call with a woman, I get peppered in some men, have 2 men clients. I ask them what they want. And the number one answer, and they verbalize it in many different ways, but they all want the same thing: peace and happiness. Yes, health too. Peace and happiness. And travel. Fun. Have some fun. All right. Now I'm going to get into the part of letting go and making peace with my family. So like I said, there was this thing over my head and why are they not talking to me and why this and why that, what did I do and blah, 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 blah. I was stuck, right? I was in that spiraling, going down, just stuck in that shit. And it was consuming my thoughts. My God, I would wake up thinking about it. I'd go to sleep thinking about it. And it was just it's tiring. It sucks your energy. And so I was thinking about this for a good, probably 1.5 years. I don't know. I don't remember. But it was a long time. And one day I said, you know what, Denise? This is not serving you. It's not changing anything. So why are you thinking about it? Start shifting your thoughts and start thinking about something more positive. So then every time that thought popped into my head, I would do exactly that. I would shift it and think of something positive. Now, this was before my coaching, before my personal development, all of that. So this was just me doing it on my own. I would just change my thought. And it was a practice. And of course, over time, I completely didn't think about it. I completely let all of that go, right? I forgave. I forgave them because, you see, they're coming from a different place than I am. They're coming from anger. And their anger isn't actually towards me. It's about them. So I had to let go of that. Because there was, some times when I was trying to get in touch with my mom and, she'd come back with her comments and blah, blah, blah. I love you, Mom. This is what I would write in the email. I love you, Mom. And I just went over those emails just a couple of days ago. And even though I was saying, I love you, Mom, I knew the energy that was behind that. And that's what people pick up on. They pick up on the energy. Because my energy behind that was still anger, still pissed off, still like, blah, blah, blah. So, which I do love her, obviously, but my energy was still mad, still pissed off. So when you forgive, it has to come from within you. It has to come from the energy. Don't just forgive just to forgive. This is something that you have to deal with within yourself. And then when you're ready to come from a place of love, then you can say it out loud to that person if that's what it takes. I forgave my sisters and I forgave my mom and I forgave my ex, but I never had a conversation with them. I never verbally said, I forgive you. I never did it in an email or anything. I forgave them within me. I'm at peace with them within me. I know where they're coming from. And I hold space for them. I love them. And I forgive them. And that's all you have to do. It's part of letting go. So Buddha once said, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who gets burned. Isn't that true? I mean, here I am walking around with those thoughts about, the situation, and just, it was, like I said, consuming my thoughts day and night, thinking about it before I went to bed, when I woke up in the morning, just walking around thinking about it when I was driving. It was just, like I said, sucked all the energy out of me. How did that serve me? It didn't, until I started shifting that. So I'm going to go into the 5 health benefits of forgiveness. Number 1, it lowers stress levels. So I'll give credit to this article that I got online, but according to a study done on Hope College researchers, one of the benefits of forgiveness is lower amounts of cortisol. Number 2, I'm not going to read all of these because if you want the PowerPoint, let me know. Number 2, keeps your heart healthy. Forgiveness is good for the heart. Literally, one study suggests that people who hold on to grudges tend to have higher heart rates, while those who are more empathetic are able to forgive tend to have lower heart rates. Number 3, lowers pain. Having a forgiving heart may lower both emotional and physical pain, according to a study done by Duke University. Woo, right here. Number 4, lowers blood pressure. Letting go of that anger you've been harboring might lower your blood pressure. And number 5, it extends life. Your grudges might be shaving years of your life. That is so interesting. So here's the takeaway. True forgiveness is easier said than done. True. It can be difficult, especially if someone truly upset you in a way that contradicted your values and morals. However, it's important to remember that holding that grudge is not going to fix anything. That hot coal you're holding onto is just burning yourself. Let go of the coal, and you will feel the lift of metal burdens. However, you also may notice your body thanking you through the health benefits of forgiveness, lower stress levels, higher heart rate, or healthier heart, higher pain tolerance, lower blood pressure, and even an extended life. The next time someone upsets you, remember to forgive if you want to live happier as well as healthier. So sweet. All right, so now we're going to move on to how to forgive others. I love giving meat and potatoes. Step 1, move on to the next act, which is exactly what I was just talking about. You know what? It wasn't serving me anymore. It was consuming my thoughts and my energy, and I just slowly moved on. Until one day I looked back and I was like, oh, wow, I haven't thought about that in a long time. Oh, good. Awesome. That's in the past. Step 2, reconnect to your spirit. Here's where the meditation comes in. I highly recommend meditation, ladies, even if you can do it for 5 minutes a day. I do mine in the morning. There's a lot of meditation apps on your phone. If you have trouble sleeping, meditation will really help you with insomnia. And it also connects you to you, right? That's what meditation really is about. All right, so number 3 is don't go to sleep angry, because you know you're carrying that energy with you. And it's going to affect your sleep, and I know I've even had dreams about that crap. Step 4, switch the focus from blaming others to understanding yourself. Everything starts with you. So you need to understand you, and that's what I was talking about a little bit earlier. We attract who we are, not what we want. And like attracts like. And so the reason I attracted my ex was because of me. So I needed to go in and understand me in order for me to attract the people and situations that I desire. Okay, so number 5, avoid telling people what to do. Don't be so bossy, right? I mean, you can't change anybody but you. So telling people what to do is they're not probably even going to listen, right? Do you. Number 6, learn to let go and be like water. Ooh, be in the flow. Just flow. And let me tell you something. Being in the flow is so possible. And it doesn't even take that long. You can change your whole life in 4 weeks. I promise you. I have testimonies of it. All right. So let's get into how do I let go of anger and hurt? Make the decision to let it go. Things don't disappear on their own. So like I was talking about before, where those thoughts were just consuming me, I had to make the decision to let it go because of that, because it was hurting me. It was hurting me to think about it. It was hurting me to sucking all of my energy, taking up all my thoughts. That's the start of it. Make the decision to let it go. Express your pain and your responsibility. So that's where the creativity, where the creating that I was talking about, that I created every situation in my life, everything in the past and everything now. I take full responsibility for my life, everything. And now I know. Now I know that the people closest to me, my relationships, if there's a trigger there, they're showing me my shit. You know what a trigger is? It's an old story. And an old story is an open wound. That's all. Just go in and heal that wound. Stop being the victim and blaming others. Focus on the present, the here and now, and joy. Forgive them and yourself. So if you have a situation where you're like so pissed off at somebody that they did you wrong, and even just hearing that, forgive them, is like, no way. Then that's a big wound that you need to heal. And that may take a little bit more time to forgive them, but just remember, this is all for you. This is for you. And the biggest thing is forgiving yourself. I think that is where people don't realize that forgiving you, because everything starts with you. You have to, I had to forgive myself because I carried a lot of guilt for a long time. I carried guilt around what I had allowed to happen. In the beginning, it wasn't necessarily to me, it was my kids. What I allowed my kids to see, what I allowed my kids to endure. It was shitty. No kid should have to go through what my kids went through. It shouldn't. So I had to forgive myself. And everything here that I'm talking about is so doable. All right, so what does it mean to forgive? Continuing on, forgiveness does not mean forgetting, nor does it mean condoning or excusing offenses. Through forgiveness can help repair a damaged relationship. It doesn't obligate you to reconcile with the person who harmed you or release them from any legal accountability. So these two, the combination of these two websites that I got this from, this article, was The Power of Positive Thinking and 11 Ways to Keep Your Heart Healthy. If you wanted to look back on that. All right, so forgiving you. The biggest part of forgiving is to forgive yourself. Forgiving yourself for staying in that relationship too long. Forgiving yourself for allowing yourself to be cheated on. This is what I had to forgive myself for. Allowing my kids to see, hear, and be in total chaos for most of their life. And, it's funny because my kids have two different views of their childhood. And my daughter, who's pretty much a carbon copy of me, views it as, she remembers the good, the positive, the vacations, and blah, blah, blah. My son chooses to remember the shitty points of it. It's your choice, right? That's what everything boils down to, a choice, including forgiving. You can choose to forgive, or you can choose to hold on to that crap. Either way, it only hurts you. All right. This is a quote that I found. It's from Unknown, but it was on one of my group coaching Facebook forums. So anyone can hold a grudge, but it takes a person with character to forgive. When you forgive, you release yourself from a painful burden. Forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was okay. And it doesn't mean that person should still be welcome in your life. It just means you have made peace with the pain and are ready to let go. How true is that? Let me read it again for you. Anyone can hold a grudge, but it takes a person with character to forgive. When you forgive, you release yourself from a painful burden. Forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was okay. And it doesn't mean that person should still be welcome in your life. It just means you have made peace with the pain and are ready to let go. Okay, so meditation. We're getting close to the end. Meditation, ladies, if you do not meditate, like I said, try it out for 5 minutes a day. I'm telling you, it's amazing and it'll change your life. And, when I started to meditate, for the longest time, it was weighing on my mind. I need to meditate. Day in, day out, I didn't do it. And then one day I got on YouTube. You can start on YouTube and just put in guided meditations. And then you can choose from 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you want. And I would just meditate in my sacred place, sacred space with my computer, on my YouTube, on my phone. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut, you're all on the phone. I'm going to shut my computer off just for a second because I want you to, let's just do a quick meditation, right? So close your eyes and sit with your spine up and your legs crossed, or you can even lay down. I do my meditation laying down. Just get in a comfortable place. I want you to connect your thumb and your index finger together. This is knowledge and self-connecting, okay? Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. You do this 4 times. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. One more time. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Now imagine a white light scanning you, starting at the head. And this white light is filled with positive energy, love, and forgiveness. As the light moves down your head, down your neck, you say, I forgive myself. I love myself. And this light, as it's scanning you, is filling you with positive energy. It's guiding you, it's loving you. So as it moves down your arms, I forgive myself. I love myself. Down your torso, I forgive myself. I love myself. Down your hip area, I forgive myself. I love myself. Down your legs, I forgive myself. I love myself. Around your kneecaps, love, light, support, positive energy, and say, I forgive myself. I love myself. Down your calves, I forgive myself. I love myself. And all the way down to your ankles, to your feet, and to the tips of your toes. And imagine the people that have done you wrong, the ones that you have been holding on to anger, the ones that you just have been pissed off at, are standing in front of you. And one by one, you share your white light with them. And you say, I forgive you. And I forgive myself and I love myself. One by one. Down the line, all of the people who've done you wrong. I forgive myself. I love myself. I forgive you. And as you shed that white light on them and you say those things, they disappear one by one. They're gone. And a new shift of energy, a light energy feeling comes over, rushes over you one by one. As you give forgiveness, you shed heaviness off of you. You forgive, and heaviness is shed off of you. One by one, down the line. Whoever did wrong to you during your life, in your past, and you're getting lighter, and it's feeling amazing, and you want more of it. So now you're giving the light out quicker to these people. And you're saying it faster. I forgive you. I forgive myself. I love myself. and you're just moving, just going quicker and faster, and you're feeling better and better. Until they're all gone. And you're floating. You feel so light. You feel so full of love, so full of support. And you're just in awe that you have now let all of that go. And how amazing you feel in this moment. You're so light and free. Now bring yourself back down and breathe in. We're going to come back. So little by little, as the white light scans you all the way down your body to the ends of your toes, we're going to start at the toes and we're going to start to wake up. So you can wiggle your toes now. Start to wake up. Your feet. Move your legs. Your hips. You're here now. Your shoulders. Your neck. Your head. You're here now. So that was just a quick meditation, super quick, that you can use anytime. And I hope that helps. It's a forgiveness meditation. And I have other ones. I have letting go meditation that I really need to put together, but I have them. Love and all of good, juicy meditations. It's just so relaxing, and it just really takes you away. Like I said, you don't even need to do it for long periods of time. 7 minutes, 5 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever. If that's all you got in the morning before you go off to work or whatever, or like I said, insomnia, this will so help you with insomnia. So many resources for meditation. If you are on the call and you're not my client, I do have a 6-month program that I just started. We've already done our first call, and it's going amazingly. So if you'd like more information on that, I'm already getting results. I actually was getting results before I even started because, as you know, or maybe you don't, I do 90-minute coaching calls. And so in the 90-minute coaching calls, I coach you, and then I do a follow-up. And 2 weeks later, so I give you homework, and then I follow up with you 2 weeks later. And that's when we're seeing results for a lot of my clients. And I just love each and every one of them because they're showing up. They want to change in their life. So my reason for being here is to serve, to give and to support as many women as I possibly can reach. So if you want change in your life, if you want change in your relationships, if you want to show up differently, you have to be the change that you want to see in your life. So if things aren't all in order in your life, or your relationships are suffering in one way or another, you are the one who has to change in order for you to see change around you. And I can help you with that. So we can get on a call and we can start taking care of stuff. So I am going to unmute. We went a little bit over today. And see if anybody has anything they want to ask or get coached on. Anybody? Mm-hmm. No, we're good?
Okay, I actually have a question.
Sure.
You were saying, okay, so I've been doing some changing, but other people have not.
Okay, so tell me about that. In which way? Have they not?
They're still kind of in their little hole.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like anything I do will change that.
So how have you been showing up differently?
I've been trying to stay more positive, and when they start getting too negative, I basically have to shut it off, because one of my boundaries is I want to get rid of all the negativity, and I just don't like going there.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how far I've come and how I feel, but yet they're still not making an effort or doing anything.
Okay, so what you need to do is give that person space
I give them a lot
because,
of space. I don't
okay,
even live with them.
okay.
They get lots
So,
of space, and they're still not doing anything.
because you know why? That's his journey.
Uh-huh.
That's his journey. And when he's ready to come out of it, then he will. And I know that for you, you've been taking care of him for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And so how is that going? Are you still taking care of him?
No, he's actually having a hip replacement on Monday, and I won't be there.
Mm-hmm.
He's had to figure out what he's going to do. Although he's planning on recovering over 3 weeks, which everybody says it's a lot quicker now. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. He's going to drag it out. But
Okay, so how does he feel about you not being there? Or does he even know?
oh yeah, he knows I'm not going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't because of work.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he's the one that moved it up, and he chose to do that. So
Mm-hmm.
I just have to let him figure it out.
And that's exactly it right there. You have to let him figure it out. Not just this hip surgery, but his journey.
Mm-hmm.
His journey, he's gotten himself into a downward spiral, and there's nothing that you can do to pull him out of it. He has to figure it out for himself. And when he's ready, when he comes to a place where he's had enough, he will start to climb out of that. And maybe this hip surgery and you not being there is a good thing. Maybe he will
I
really.
thought he had hit a down back in November,
Mhm.
hit a bottom, but apparently that wasn't his bottom. So
And there's different levels of bottoms, right? So, I mean, it's his, again, it's his choice.
mm-hmm.
It's all about choice. It's his choice to stay where he's at and keep spiraling down, or it's his choice to say, you know what, I had enough of this life. It sucks. I'm losing everything and everybody around me, and I'm going to do something about it. And hopefully it's not too late.
Mm-hmm.
But he has to come to that place. He has to come to that realization that I'm the one. See, it's his choice. And like for me, mine didn't do that. So I was like, adios, amigo. I got to go because I got to do me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And then you
So
said, don't let them, or don't tell them what to do. So I don't do that.
good. Good.
But I find it hard to have conversations with him.
You know why? Because you've been in such parent energy, Twyla, and such rescue. You're such a rescuer. And that's why it's hard for you to come out of that. And that's your journey, and that's going to take time. And especially you have, he's your husband, you have a connection, he's the father of your children, and you I know you hate seeing him like this, and you hate seeing every time he hits rock bottom. You think from your clear-minded self, from your sober self, thinking that should be rock bottom, that should be enough. What is it going to take? Have you been using the questions that I give you?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot. I mean, I'm actually in a really, I feel really good, and I'm in a good place. I guess I wish that for him, but
Right.
he just, when I have conversations with him, it's just, about the weather, and when he starts talking about all of his hip stuff, I mean, I can't go there. I just kind of cut it off.
Well, that's good. So that's the whole thing, is for you to operate the majority of your energy from woman energy, right? So when you feel, and that's great. And I know you've been showing up, you've been doing so awesome, and that's good. Don't enable his, just do exactly that. Cut it off. And I know that coming out of being a rescuer for so long, that is a journey in itself. But operate the majority of your energy from woman energy. And you can go back to chapter 2 that I gave you. And, we always focus on the parent and the child energy, because those are the wounded parts that need to be healed. But if you read about the adult energy, the woman energy, read that part of it.
Okay.
To give you like, all right, I am showing up like that, or I need to show up like that. You know what I mean? Like, just like a refresher.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it seems to be working for my son. I mean, he's getting, and he's doing really good. And
good. That's so awesome.
It's just.
Because, Twyla, because your son and your husband are two different people, and they're both making choices, and your son is choosing to show up differently, right? He's responding to the way you're showing up, and your husband is choosing to stay in his shit.
And he chooses to try to control him through me, because he keeps telling me things that he should be doing, and I'm like, but there are all these things that my husband should be doing.
Right.
I'm not worrying about my son.
Right.
Because he's making his choices and he's doing his thing.
Right.
What he can do.
Right.
What he can take. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's his choice. It's his journey. He's the only one who can step up and say, enough is enough. And I want to start now, today, right now, and change. But nobody can do that for him.
Yeah. I struggle when I have to talk to my husband about finances and stuff, because we are struggling, because he's not working, and now he can't look for a job because of his hip, and there's always excuse after excuse. And then when I try to talk to him, he just he says, well, don't make me feel bad. But I'm like, I'm not trying to make you feel bad, I'm just trying to solve a problem here.
Right. And it is what it is. And that's exactly it. I mean, like I was talking about in the call, that I created all of that into my life. He's created all of this. And that's exactly what it is. It's excuse after excuse, because nobody forced him to do what he chose to do. Right. And that the fact that he chose to do it so badly that he ended up where he is. You know what I mean? Like, these are all choices that he's made.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It just sometimes, you're like, is it ever going to change?
Yes. Okay.
I feel like I'm doing great. And
okay.
by having the distance, I give him full reign of his choices and what he can do.
So, Twyla, when you think, is it ever going to change? That's when you use the question, how does it get any better than this?
I have been using that quite a bit lately.
Have you been answering it?
No.
Okay.
Just asking. And actually I did that the other day just with my girlfriends, although that was a happy time.
Yeah, and you can use that with good and bad. So that's awesome. Right. How does it get any better than this? I promise you, every time you ask that question, you're opening doors. You're opening up doors, and you're believe me, just keep asking. Keep asking, keep asking, keep asking, and just ask.
My daughter did get an offer for a job, so she's going to get off the payroll for a few things.
Oh, nice.
So that's good.
See, things are turning around.
Yep.
You got to focus on the positive of your son.
This year has been a really good year for me compared to a year ago. So
wonderful.
Great.
Wonderful.
A lot better energy. That's a good way
Sweet.
to put it. A lot better energy.
Great. And that's because of your choices.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to make that decision to change.
Yeah.
It's up to him. But you are seeing results.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good and awesome.
I wish I had a little more time. I'm just so busy with work right now. I have 3 more weeks.
Yeah.
Focus a little more. But so far this tax season has actually been, I'd say, one of my best.
Sweet.
So
That's awesome. And 3 weeks will fly by and then you'll be at the beach, right? Like,
yeah,
well, I know
I'm
you were
gonna
at the beach a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was there actually this last weekend. I wanted to celebrate. We celebrated my birthday with the family.
Oh, nice.
And then after tax season, I'm going to go volunteer at the Little Pink Houses of Hope retreat at Carolina Beach. So
awesome.
Volunteering.
Awesome. So
That's
focus on all of that good, juicy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
it's good.
It's all good. Yes. It's all good. It's all good.
But it's his choice.
It's his choices. That's right. It's his journey.
I just struggle sometimes when he calls. It's like, oh, I dread.
I know, because
I don't want to get pulled in. No.
I know. So take a couple deep breaths before you answer the phone, right? Just shift that energy.
Okay.
And you could ask the question, how does it get, or what else is possible, or how does it get any better than this, as you're picking up the phone in your head. And hello? Hello? What else is possible? I wonder.
Yeah, this can happen.
Awesome. Anybody else?
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome, Twyla. I'm so happy for you that things are starting to turn around and change and show up, because you deserve it. We all deserve it.
Yep.
Anybody else?
No, all good.
All good. Down under. Okay. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for showing up. Thank you for choosing you. And, well, for most of you, I'll see you in the forum. And for the others, open invitation to a 90-minute coaching call. Or if you want to just find out about the coaching group that I have going on that we just started, get in touch with me and I will tell you about it. All right. So if there's no more questions or no coaching needed, then we will end the call for tonight.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye.